It's an ocean of blood, so you're going to need an ocean of blood in the production.
Was it a world record for the amount of blood used in a film?
Yeah, by
What
far.
did
Aren't enough of us left to be throwing lives away, but there is too much at stake not to take calculated risks.
I'm Markiplier. I have a YouTube channel. I've directed a movie now, and I've done a whole bunch of video content.
There's been a huge reaction to the film. $17.8 million on domestic opening, 36 million worldwide. Tell us a little bit about your reaction to how it's been received.
I have been ecstatic. I know I don't sound it. Please let everyone know that I'm a little sick today. Otherwise, it'll come across as I seem disingenuous. But I've been very happy. I swear, I've been looking at my phone nonstop. My screen time on my phone has been exponential this past couple weeks because I love seeing people reacting to it and talking about it and getting excited about it. It's always the cathartic part at the end of a long project. Because I've been doing these kind of things for a while. Well, not a feature, but similar to that. The whole level of a movie is sometimes seen psychologically as a bigger thing. So in a lot of fans' my eyes, it's a bigger thing. But the cycle is the same as what I've been doing for a while, and it's just really really fun.
So, I mean, talk us through actually making Iron Lung because you're behind the creative process. You're the director. You've starred in it. You've written it.
Mhm.
It's been a mammoth job for you. Talk us through that.
I worked very closely with David Szymanski, who made the game. Obviously, it was his universe that I was playing in, so I wanted to make sure that it was definitely going to respect that. But also, I wanted to make sure that we were doing things right in terms of production. I wanted to do as many things physically as possible to the point where we had our set up on a motion controller rig, which basically the whole sub was on a moving platform that could be programmed to do moves. So that was instrumental to the process. With lots of blood, we knew that we were going to need lots of blood. It's not like we set out to be like, hey, we're going to break the record for most blood in a movie. It's like, no, we look at it realistically. It's an ocean of blood, so you're going to need an ocean of blood in the production, and even then, it won't be enough. You got to make up for it in simulations and CG afterwards.
Was it a world record for the amount of blood used in a film?
Oh yeah, 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 by
What
far.
did what did you do with all the blood afterwards?
So it's actually food grade. So it can be disposed of. It's not a harsh chemical. It's made from a glycerin. And that was part of the problem. We ordered it at the beginning of most of it. We ordered at the beginning of production. And it's a 35-day shoot. So by the end of it, it was starting to spoil, which is something we didn't think about. So by the time I was swimming in it, some of it was getting progressively worse. I don't think it was dangerous, and thankfully I was the only one swimming in it, so I get to make that call. But it definitely was not pleasant smell-wise.
You've talked about, well, it's encouraged people to donate blood as well. You've had the blood drive. Could you talk a little bit about that? We've seen the odd post suggesting it's had a huge impact with blood drives across the country there.
I don't know the exact number or how much success. I've heard a lot of things from the people at Vitalent that were helping organize it. And I don't know if we've made any kind of record there. I kind of let that go in light of, I just wanted more people to donate. But as far as I know, most of the appointment slots for the trucks that we did have were full constantly. There was very few openings, and then donations in blood banks around the world, or at least in the United States and some of the international countries, had a spike in appointments. People organized their own little mini groups based on Iron Lung, and overall, I think it was good because the more people that have never donated that get a first chance to do it, the more likely that they're going to build a habit. I personally, before I did this, when I was growing up, I donated blood almost every time that I could before I moved out to LA. And then I fell out of the habit when I came here, but I want to get back into it now. I donated a gallon before, so you get a gallon pin when you hit a gallon of blood donated. And then it goes up by 2, 3 for your lifetime blood donation.
You previously said in a podcast that it was first suggested that the film would just go in 3 theatres, but obviously it's been across theatres worldwide. How did you get that number of theatres screening it?
So if you ask Centurion Films, who are the guys that helped out with get this out to the indie theaters and then continue on to theaters, they were actually the first one that said 3, and they'll be the first to tell you that they were wrong about that, and there's no shame there, and I'm not shaming them. But once they started talking to theaters, it was about 50 to 60 had heard about the concept or knew about me enough to be like, okay, maybe there's something here. He has a certain number of subscribers. We could definitely do that. So when I made the announcement video that it was on sale, the people could go to the website that my wife Amy built. She built this whole website where there was a map and you could see exactly where the theater was near you. And so once people got that, those theaters sold out immediately. And then there was a lot of people in the comments of the video where I was announcing it was on sale asking like, oh man, I'm gonna have to drive 2, 3 hours to go see this movie. And I made a comment in there. And if you make a YouTube video, you can comment your own video, you can pin it to the top. And I said, if it's not in your local theater, there is a way that you can ask for a movie. They have a suggestion line usually. And if you contact the theater and enough people are interested, they will book that movie. And so that's all I did. I made a comment on my video, not even in the main video itself. And my audience took that and ran with it really hard. So as soon as that started happening, all these theaters were inundated with emails and phone calls and people showing up physically to the theaters. And so that was enough for them to see, combined with the other theaters selling out, that, hey, if they're booking theaters or booking seats, I want to make money too, so I'm going to book this movie. And then it really just rippled from there because of the efforts that my fan base did, and then the collective FOMO from the other ones. And then I had a call from Cinemark, and they were like they were going to put in 50 theaters. Then Regal just went all in right after that, every theater. Then AMC jumped on board, and once you get those, the big national chains, that's when things really start to explode. So it actually, in a way that Disney would never admit, or 20th Century Fox would never admit, it beat Sent Help on the first weekend as well. It put more people in seats. We had 1.9 million tickets sold or something like that to 1.7 that they had. So in the metric that matters to YouTubers, that's more people seeing it, which is the only crown and glory that I can have there. But obviously, Sent Help was going to pass it eventually. Like the movie is good. I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things about it. But yeah, I think it is a win for YouTubers because it's like the more that this happens, the more normalized it becomes. I've said this in other interviews, but it is an important thing to say, which is like this needs to not be special. This needs to be expected because that gives more opportunities for YouTubers not to be misjudged from the get-go, for YouTubers to be like not dismissed out of the gate with their idea and their project, whatever it is, if it's a movie or otherwise. The more normalized it is, the more expected it could be for people to do this, and that comes with its own problems with where they expect success, and if the standards can get higher, but at least they're allowed into the party, to impress or fail.
What do you think someone who isn't a well-known YouTuber like yourself could learn from your experience?
I wasn't a big YouTuber at some point. It took 14 years to get to this point where I am right now. So if they look less at where I suddenly appeared on their radar and look more about how, then I always emphasize that YouTube is an underrated platform for multiple paths for a bunch of people that are creatives, even filmmakers. I was originally inspired to start YouTube because I saw these other YouTubers making these really impressive visual effects based videos, which you wouldn't ordinarily see outside of movies or TV shows. I hadn't really seen the concept of people using VFX in just random videos online. That inspired me, but I didn't know how to do that. So thinking from a filmmaker, if you went up to any filmmaker in film school and you said to them, it's going to take 14 years for you to get to your dream and get a movie in a movie theater and have people see it and it be a success, they might look at you and go, okay, yeah, maybe. All right. That seems like a fair deal. There's people that have worked more than that haven't had that chance yet. There are people that work less. So going from nothing to being able to do this with my audience, and to also emphasize that I've been making projects like this the entire time, and not a one of them have been a financial success up until this moment. I think that's kind of that's kind of the realization. Is like my creative arc doesn't start and end in this instantaneous moment. There's movies I'm going to make after this. There's movies I've made before this, and it's kind of like this. It's this evolving journey, and I think that's something that YouTube offers that no other platform or school, even remotely, comes close to offering.
And then obviously the success of that, you outperformed the Melania film. Did you expect that?
I didn't even know the Melania film was coming out that time. I kind of expected it just because I figured that it would. But hey, happy to do my part.
Is there another film in the works? Can we expect something like a sequel?
I don't know about a sequel. I would have to talk to David because he hasn't even made a game sequel. I would have to take his lead on that. And honestly, getting back into that universe after 3 years into it, I'm kind of tired of it. I think what I want to do is just to be slightly strategic about it. The next project might not be horror, just so people don't get this expectation that that's the only thing I'm going to do. I definitely want to do horror, but even in my whole YouTube channel, the entirety of the projects, the majority of them are comedy based or drama based. There's very little actual horror from my short films and my sketch comedy and my bigger projects out there. There's some elements of horror to it, but the majority of it is like comedy or drama. So I want to do something, more leaning towards that and then circle back to horror. I mean, I've got so many ideas for things I want to do, so I'm not lacking for ideas.